Um, they are three different. One thing in common, they are injured, of course, but they are different stages. I think with Adil, start with the positive. Adil is almost ready to join the group. He did all training today, and he's supposed to do a longer session tomorrow. So we are welcoming Adil back with us full together with the group from when we come back next week. With Guzman, unfortunately, we have to wait some weeks because he had a little tear on his quads. Is work in progress, so we will see. But we know that he's a guy that is a fighter, Guzman. So I'm sure he will be back as soon as possible. And with the performance department, they are, looking at the best strategies to get him back with us as soon as possible. Enzo as well is recovering well, and apparently his rehab is going well. I ask every day about those guys, and I think he's on track with what he was said before, maybe even a little bit early. So we will see, but. We're not talking about many weeks for Guzman or Enzo, but still, a while not to be ready for this game or the next.
What's the timeline on getting Brecht everything sorted with him?
I wish I knew, Will, because I think it's something to do with registration, with the visa. I think that all the documents have been submitted. And we are just waiting for Brecht to be given the green light from the administration so that he can officially enter with a visa the US and then be registered in MLS, and then he would be available to play. Then I have to see him in training, which point he is, because when you train on your own, it's not the same as training with the team. And certainly I don't want to rush him, even though it will be important, especially in this window, to have players as soon as possible, like we did with Scott.
So unlike Scott, just to clarify, unlike Scott, he wasn't able to train with y'all before being eligible, right?
He did. He was able to trade. He was able to trade with us. I think that there was an issue with the ESTA. So I've been told. Regarding the administrative matters, I am kept informed. Is not my area of expertise. As you can imagine, this one, I need to trust what they do. I'm sure that everybody is doing the best to get the players here. And the sooner, the better. But with Scott, it was no problem also because he had a Canadian passport. So I think he was slightly different for him.
In terms of what this competition brings for you guys, how much does it serve as almost kind of a palate cleanser from what you guys have had over the last couple of weeks, unable to win games, and obviously what happened in Montreal? How does this kind of refresh the mind in terms of focusing on something new?
It's always good, Will, to have games so you can refocus and put behind the negative result, and then to look at the things that we need to improve, but always to have a chance to play the next game. So for us, it's an important tournament. We want to give our best in every tournament in which we participate, and our mentality in this sense doesn't change.
And lastly, for me, what would be your bigger concern right now? The goals against or the wanting to get more creative up front? I know that was something you had mentioned, especially in your comments out of Montreal.
I think the two things go hand in hand, Will. I really believe that. The game, especially the way it's played nowadays, is very dynamic, and I think that we have some form of emergency at the back, but we have players that, for example, Andrew came on and did well, but we need to keep into consideration his age, so how young he is. And so I believe that at the back we lack a little bit of experience in this moment. But again, it's not finding an excuse. We want to create, because it's true that when you look at the stats, it looks in a certain way, but we had, the moment between the chance and taking the chance, we had quite a few of those, and the pass before the assist wasn't right, and it wasn't difficult to execute. We have to be a little bit more, tidy and a little bit more, let's say, technically aware in those moments, because they are important. And when we have the ball, if you look at the goals, we got done from a long ball, and the chances we conceded they were on counter-attack when we were trying to play. So given that the identity that we want to give to this football club is to play, regardless the opponent, we need to be really focused. And I know that people will put the fingers and will point the fingers at the result, but for me, it's important to believe in the way we work, and I see a lot of good things during the week. I think the guys work well, and I'm fully behind them when they try to play. Every time I feel that we don't do that is when I feel more in danger, when we are tentative, when we are not really focused in developing our game. Thank you.
We're going to go with John, and then after that would be Michael.
Good afternoon, John.
I know that Brecht is obviously not ready yet, but when spring starts here, you have a lot of field. So do you feel like in a competition like this, where you're obviously going to have to rotate the squad, do you feel like that you'll be able to do that, knowing that the performance level will be able to be the same as to what you normally have?
But the idea, John, is that and that's why I think that we have to manage expectations. The idea is to build a squad that is, that. To start with, Brecht is not here. So in theory, yes, but in practice, we start the competition tomorrow, and we don't have him. So we have to wait until, I don't know, I am here to wait to hear the good news like everybody else associated with us. But the idea, yes, is that to have a depth in the squad, that whether you change, the characteristics and the level is pretty much the same. And the one thing that I would like for our football club is to have this kind of competition, but also to bring forward the young players, so that as a number 9 we have Enzo, Carol that can play in this position, but I want to nurture Patrick. Likewise, I want to nurture Brandon as a winger, or Chris Egert as an attacking midfielder, or Ben Bender, or Jalen, or Amadi, Andrew. We have a number of young, talented players here that this is the view that I have, that we can have senior players from which they can learn certain details in terms of professionalism, in terms of technical ability or tactical knowledge, and then we can transfer to the next generation of players so that we can build a really strong squad. This requires time. I understand that there is a lot of pressure in getting result, but we need to be really clear about the path we are going to.
Excuse me. Obviously, the first goal is to get out of the group, but do you feel like in the overall bigger picture, with the strides that this league has made over the years, with the quality of players that have been brought in throughout the league, do you feel like that there's always been a comparison between MLS and Liga MX? Do you feel like in the bigger set, again, I know you're focusing on what you need to do, but in the bigger sense, do you feel like that this is another proving ground to show just how far MLS has come in terms of closing the gap with Liga MX?
I think it's important to test ourselves against the teams from Liga Mexicana in the broader sense for MLS, and to see how far, yes, this league has come. I think is a fair comment, and I think to have this kind of rivalry, but at the same time pushing each other, always in sport, when you have somebody pushing your limits, I think is always beneficial for both the competitors. In this sense, I think that the Liga Mexicana also can benefit from the growth of MLS. As MLS has been, I believe, benefiting from looking at the teams in Liga Mexicana. So I believe that this kind of union in this tournament is a good one.
For me, obviously going back to Dallas, they've got a lot of talent. We know Ferreira's a great player. So just talk about what kind of challenges they present and what you'll need to do in order to get the result that you want.
It's a big challenge. We play against a team that has been together for a while now, with a good coach that has been, getting his way since he took over. So I think it's a technical team. Since I was here with New York City, Dallas has always been a club famous for the quality of the academy. And, Ferreira is just another one of the many that they produced in the last few years with Reynolds, with Ricardo Pepi. There are many more that, plus the addition of Sebastian Leggett, that is a player that I know well, quite a technical player. So Paul Ariola is a team that has Velasco, that has many quality players all around, and we need to be, as usual, focused, and we need to be really determined to stop them play from the first line of building. Because if you let them play, obviously they will play, and they will play in the thirds where they can hurt you the most, which is with the attacking players. So that, for me, is a key area of this game, as well as I don't want to give up our identity of playing when we will have the chance to have the ball. Thank you.
Thank you, John. We're going to go with Sam. We can keep it to one question so we can allow others to participate. Thank you. Go ahead, Sam.
Absolutely. So,
Thank you, Sam. Hope you too.
through 23 games, tell us how do you describe the team and the squad that's entering the League's Cup?
I think, Sam, the words that came to my mind is a little bit frustration, because for one reason or another, we have never been able to field the team, especially when we were going, in a good run, to field the team that we really wanted, because we were losing players. Also, a key moment came to my mind. We lost Adil, we lost Guzman. We knew that he had a long time to go. We lost Kale at the beginning. We lost Camille when he was fighting and finding his best form, in my opinion, for this club. So from this point of view, and then VJ when he was playing really well the role that I want him to play. From this point of view, I think has been Enzo. I think this is frustrating. This is frustrating because I wish I had the possibility to build on the momentum that we had at the time, to give continuity to our starting 11, and that forced me to do certain kind of changes, and this is the one word that comes to the mind. But again, as I said many times in life, you get opportunities from different moments and from different situations. And I think, for example, Andrew Privet has been given the opportunity that he took well. Patrick did the same. Brandon did the same. So at the same time, together with the word frustration, there is the word of surprise and growth, especially for the young players, that they represent the present and the future of this football club. So I think that we discovered in difficulties that we have resources that we can count on. We just have to be patient with these guys, because I don't want to burn them. One good half performance doesn't mean these guys are ready. The expectation build high on them, but we need to protect them, because these guys, they work hard and they need to be, introduced like any professional players, little by little to the team.
Thank you, Coach, and I hope in your Endless 185 Invincible.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. We'll go with our final question. Michael?
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Michael. Good, thank you. You?
Good. So the youngest player in your tell that you've seen about him when he was playing for Crown Legacy, how can he contribute to the main squad?
With Jack, I know him from even much before when I came here at the beginning. I took a session for the academy, and Jack was part of that under 17 team. I always appreciated that his personality, despite his young age. I think he's a guy that mix well with professional players. He has personality with the ball. He's intelligent. He's a good learner, good listener. And he's a fighter. He's a fighter, Jack. I brought with me in the preseason. I think I was happy when he was given the professional contract as a young player coming through. And I believe that he has the right mentality to be part of this football club. At the same time, he is a player that needs to improve in all areas of the game, because it's one thing to play in the MLS Next Pro, it's another thing to play against these guys that are international players, the Paul Ariola, the Ferreira and so forth, that they present a completely different challenge, not just technically, but also physically, tactically. And we do a good job if we ease these guys into the team. We give them the right responsibilities, but at the same time, we kind of, ease them into this process. We cannot think that they are already ready to bring us forward, because we wouldn't do a good job in protecting those guys and to make sure that they become the future of this club.